Happy Tuesday, everyone. Kicking off the morning nice and cold, and we'll keep our fall-like weather around for quite a bit this week. I'll have the details coming up.
Investigators have now arrested 2 men after a teen shooting death last week. The charges they now face.
Plus, getting online will now be easier for people in Jones County. The latest on where a high-speed internet project stands.
Well, good Tuesday morning. You're taking a live look over a beautiful downtown Macon. The time is now 6:30 a.m. on this October the 19th. Might I say Tuesday, Central Georgia. It looks good on you. I'm Wanye Reese.
And I'm Caitlin Heck, and it feels great, too.
It does.
A little chilly still out there, though, Courtney.
That's right. Yeah, don't do as I do and walk out without sleeves. I did bring a jacket with me this morning, but it is cold out there for the start of the day. 44 to be exact right now in the city of Macon. You're looking live on top of Atrium Health Navison. A few people making their way out and about downtown for the start of the day. Area-wide, low to mid 40s. We're at 45 in Warner Robins, 41 in Gordon, 43 in Butler, 41 in Forsyth, and 43 in Unadilla, 42 if you're waking up with us in Eastman. And speaking of Eastman, over in Dodge County, we do have some dense fog for the start of the day. Notice less than a quarter mile of visibility is possible there. So just be sure you're giving yourself a few extra minutes as you head out the door. Use those low beams if you run into any kind of dense fog for the morning. Most of us are clear and very comfortable. Our dew points very low in the 40s for the start of the day. Very fall-like start, cool and crisp out there. As we go through the day, lots of sunshine. Temperatures are going to climb into the mid to upper 70s. Now, as we go through the next few days, we'll have a couple of changes out ahead of our cold front, and then behind our cold front, just some slight changes. I'll explain all of that and what our forecast will look like behind our front. That's in just a few minutes.
Well, thank you, Courtney. We have an update to a Macon shooting case we first told you about a week ago. 2 men are now in jail in connection to the death of 18-year-old Shamarian Chatfield. According to the Bibb County Sheriff's Office, investigators interviewed and arrested 24-year-old Andrew Hollis and 21-year-old Rashawn Taylor. You see him there yesterday afternoon. They each face a conspiracy to commit a felony charge.
Now, the shooting happened at the neighborhood grocery and Marathon gas station on Napier Avenue. The sheriff's office says they got a call of a person down, and when deputies got there, they found Chatfield shot, and he later died at the hospital. At the time, Chatfield's shooting death marked Macon's 4th in about a 5-day stretch. Well, testimony continues today in the trial for 3 former Washington County deputies accused in a deadly tasing case.
The case dates back to 2017. Henry Lee Copeland, Michael Howell, and Rhett Scott face murder charges in connection to the death of Yuri Martin. Yesterday, jurors heard from a Georgia Bureau of Investigations expert who says Martin had the right to walk away from the deputies. Georgia Public Broadcasting reported on yesterday's testimony.
The GBI officer who trains officers in the use of force says the deputies had no evidence that Martin committed a crime. They responded to a call from a man on Deep Step Road who said Martin asked him for a drink of water. He reported Martin as a suspicious person. Now, that's not a crime in the state of Georgia. Jurors also heard more of the dash cam video that recorded Martin's death and how deputies responded.
Across the state, eyes are now on the trial for the men accused in the 2020 shooting death of Ahmaud Arbery.
Jury selection continues today as lawyers could end up questioning 1,000 potential jurors.
You shall give true answers to all questions as may be asked by the court or its authority, including all questions asked by the parties or their attorneys.
600 possible jurors had to report to court yesterday. 400 are on standby. Lawyers will narrow down the field to 12 jurors and 4 alternates. As of yesterday, 12 jurors have been dismissed so far. That's according to our station out of Jacksonville, Florida. Ahead of jury selection yesterday, Arbery's mom shared her thoughts on the start of the trial, saying after more than a year of heartache, she is ready for healing.
This day means a lot to me. Thinking back when Ahmaud was first killed, we went through 3 prosecutors, we went through no arrests, and we finally made it this far. So this morning, I'm very grateful.
Father and son Greg and Travis McMichael, along with William Roddy Ryan, face murder charges in the case. They have previously pleaded not guilty to those charges. Defense attorneys say the 3 defendants committed no crimes.
Now, Greg McMichael told police they thought Arbery was a burglar after security cameras recorded him inside a neighboring home under construction. He says his son Travis shot Arbery in self-defense after Arbery attacked him with his fists. Prosecutors say Arbery was merely out jogging when he was killed. Investigators in the case have said Arbery was unarmed and they found no evidence that he stole anything from that construction site. Turning to election news, the race for a U.S. Senate seat in Georgia won't happen until next year, but the money is already flowing in for candidates. Here's Here's where two of the top candidates stand. On the Democratic side, current U.S. Senator Raphael Warnock raised more than $9 million from July through September. That's according to his campaign. Warnock's campaign now has $17.2 million on hand. On the Republican side, former Georgia Bulldogs running back Herschel Walker raised nearly $3.7 million in the first 5 weeks of his campaign. That's according to his team. When it comes to this year's elections, those are only 2 weeks away. Here in Central Georgia, Warner Robins voters will decide who will be their top leader. The mayor's seat is one of 4 posts up for grabs in the city. And before you head to the polls on November 2nd, you can hear from the candidates vying for the spot. Current Mayor Randy Toms faces challengers LaRonda Patrick and Stephen Boyer in the race. All 3 candidates will participate in a forum tonight. You can hear from them on a variety of issues like crime, growth, and blight. Our Frank Malloy will moderate the forum in partnership with the Robins Regional Chamber, and I'll be serving as a panelist. You can stream it on 13WMAZ.com this afternoon at 5:30.
Tonight, Bibb County leaders are set to vote on possibly approving up to $2.8 million to build a fire safety facility on Tinker Drive. That's one of the items Commission plans to talk about at their meeting this evening. According to Interim Fire Chief Shane Edwards, the facility would include a training tower and rehab area. He says that will allow the fire department to train with the latest technology and do in-depth training on things like search and rescue, as well as structure and fire control. Edwards says they hope to break ground sometime early next year. Also up for a vote, potentially accepting $750,000 worth of funding from the federal government. That money would go towards the RISE initiative through the Macon District Attorney's Office. RISE stands for Restoring Inspiration by Success in Education. The initiative focuses on young people in the community and reducing tendencies to relapse into previous behaviors, especially criminal behavior. According to the resolution, RISE will hire several different community groups like Fathers Among Men, I Am King Foundation, and You Create Macon, using the funding if approved. The commission meeting is set for 6 this evening. What started off as a statewide push to bring broadband to rural Georgia is now helping people in Central Georgia get online.
That's because Tri-County EMC is bringing internet to areas that don't have it, including Jones County. So far, Tri-County says it's added more than 130 miles of fiber lines to the county. More than 1,000 members there registered to get access. The utility company started the project more than a year ago, putting together a feasibility study. In May, they started building the fiber with the goal of serving parts of 8 counties, including 6 here in Central Georgia.
Crews work to make sure all the wires connect properly to their houses. Inside those are all of the electronics necessary to bring fiber internet to your home. Now, Greg Mullis is Tri-County's Chief Operating Officer and says they're already hearing positive feedback.
We've just heard some horror stories about single-digit speed and frustration with not being able to get internet at all. So there's a lot of excitement around the community about it. So it's fun, it's hard work, but it's very rewarding to see folks, see speed tests with, things that you have in a big city here in rural areas now.
And crews hooked up more than 100 customers in Jones County as of right now. Their goal is to build 20 miles of fiber a week.
That's amazing. By the end of 2 years, the company aims to provide service to all of its EMC members through more than 1,600 miles of fiber.
In total, about 8,500 people in Jones County should have access by the time the project is done. And I'm sure they are so grateful for that.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's so much you can do with the internet and there's so much you can't do without it.
There is,
Yeah.
and I think that the pandemic really showed us, the places that really do need that internet access, because when we were working from home, it was our only way to
Right.
make money and stay connected,
That's right. And kids trying to go to school
Exactly.
virtually.
Right.
And you need it for just about anything nowadays.
Yeah, I mean, everything is moving online. How you order, you can even order your groceries online if you wanted to. So it's definitely a convenience and a necessity nowadays. So glad to see it. All right, everyone, glad to see another nice and cool morning as well. I've been really enjoying the 40s in the morning. Now, ask me in December when we're in the 30s and we stay there how much I'm liking the cold. I'll probably give you a different answer. But right now, I think this is great. So hopefully you've been enjoying it as well. 44 in Macon, 45 in Warner Robins, 43 in Dublin, and it looks like Eastman, you're down to 42 degrees. Milledgeville doesn't look like the data wants to pop up this morning, but I imagine you're somewhere in the low to mid 40s as well for the start of the day. Either way, no matter which way you spin it, it's jacket worthy for the start of your morning. Happy Tuesday, everyone. We are rolling along this work week, and it looks like they are continuing to take down parts of the fair. I believe the slide is just about one of the only things they have left. I came into a time lapse of the fair, everyone enjoying it. and then them breaking it all down. I don't know if Ben showed that last night, but it was really interesting to watch. Now, as we go through the day today, it's going to be a fall-like day. By 10 o'clock, temperatures in the mid-50s, so we will very gradually warm. Whether you're heading out now or in the next couple of hours, you'll need that jacket with you. But as we go into the afternoon, you can start to take some of those layers off because we'll have temperatures top out in the upper 70s today as we head closer to 3-4 o'clock. Now, why we are so warm and dry and sunny is thanks to high pressure that is in control of our forecast. Now, our next weather maker, and I say weather maker pretty lightly, is our cold front that's all the way out towards the Rockies, bringing some winter weather to parts of Colorado this morning. And while they are getting some very, very cold air, cold enough to bring snow, our air behind this front, unfortunately, isn't going to be quite that cold. So in the meantime, high pressure and control, that's going to keep us nice and dry. It's going to bring us some nice and warm and fall-like afternoons. Now here's the first change you're going to notice. As high pressure pushes off the coast, what's that going to do? Pull in more moisture off the Atlantic Ocean. So our humidity is going to start to go up just a little bit. It's not going to be super uncomfortable, but just enough to notice it. Kind of like last week when if you were out at the fair during the week, I guess a lot of you for your fall break, you might have noticed it was just a touch uncomfortable. That's what you can expect on Thursday as we wait for our cold front. Now with that extra moisture, we could maybe have a couple of showers on Thursday. What you're looking at right now is the GFS model. It keeps us dry on Thursday, but not all models are agreeing at that. So we're going to keep a small rain chance for Thursday right now. Here comes that front as we head into Friday. So it'll knock on our doors. We head into Friday morning, bringing with it maybe just a couple of light showers. That's all we're going to get from this front. And that's really it. The cold air behind this front, not really going to be cool. This is one of those fronts that I call fake cold fronts. I talk about that all the time. It is a very non-meteorological term. Say that 5 times fast. It's just going to bring us back into the upper 70s after a day in the low 80s on Friday. And this is why. We are not going to have the jet stream take that deep dive south like what happened behind our last front. What's going to happen is the jet stream is going to stay just enough north of the area that it's going to trap all the cold air from Canada to our north. So places like the Midwest and even parts of Tennessee are going to get the cold air behind that front. But us, we're just going to stay mild. Still going to be a nice fall-like week, though. Your 7-day forecast looks like this. Warm and dry through Wednesday. A few showers possible for Thursday and Friday along that cold front. We'll wake up in the low 50s Saturday. It'll be a nice and comfortable morning, but temperatures will rebound back in the low 80s by Sunday.